welcome to my teacher closet. I'm Miss Colleen, and thank you for being here with me today. We are continuing our week of talking about genres, which are types of stories with similar elements. They're similar to each other. They are like, I used this example in another video, but they're like cookies. You have chocolate chip cookies, you have peanut butter cookies, you have snickerdoodles. They're all different types of cookies, but they are all still cookies and very delicious. We've been talking about fiction, a genre called fiction, and it's a made up stories in the writer's imagination. And today we are going to talk about fantasy stories. And these are a story with elements that are impossible, such as talking animals or magical powers. And the story I picked for us today, it does not have a talking animal in it, but it does have a talking something that usually doesn't talk at all. And this story is called Spoon by Amy Krouse Rosenthal and illustrated by Scott Magoon. And do spoons usually talk? No. Just like animals, they don't usually talk where we can understand them, like words. Now, animals do communicate, but anyway, this is a fantasy story, and it's in the genre of fiction because it's made up in the writer's imagination. Here we go. This is Spoon. This is Spoon's family. On Sundays, Spoon goes to visit his Aunt Silver. He has to be on his best behavior there. She's very fancy and proper. Goodbye, darling. Ta-ta. At bedtime, Spoon likes to hear the story about his adventurous great-grandmother who fell in love with a dish and ran off to a distant land. Lately, though, Spoon has been feeling blue. "What's wrong?" asked his mother. "You look a little bent out of shape." "Nothing," he mumbled. "It's just that, I don't know, all my friends have it so much better than me. Like Knife. Knife is so lucky, he gets to cut. He gets to spread. I never get to cut or spread. Yes, Knife is pretty spiffy that way, isn't he? And Fork. Fork is so lucky. She gets to go practically everywhere. I bet she never goes stir-crazy like I do. Fork does get out and make herself useful, doesn't she?" And Chopsticks. They are so lucky. Everyone thinks they're really cool and exotic. No one thinks I'm cool or exotic. Those chopsticks are something else, aren't they? Meanwhile, if Spoon knew what his friends were saying at that very minute. "Spoon is so lucky," said Knife. "He's so fun and easygoing. Everyone's so serious with me, and no one's ever allowed to be silly with me like they are with spoons." "Spoon is so lucky," said Fork. "He gets to measure stuff. No one ever does that with me." Spoon is so lucky, said Chopsticks. He can go places by himself. We could never function apart. That night, after bedtime stories, Spoon's mom turned off the light and tucked him in and said, "You know, Spoon, I wonder if you realize how lucky you are. Your friends will never know the joy of diving headfirst into a bowl of ice cream. They'll never know what it feels like to clink against the side of a cereal bowl. They'll never be able to twirl around a mug or relax in a hot cup of tea." Spoon hadn't thought of it that way before. He lay awake in bed for a long time. His mind was racing. He felt so alive. There was only one thing to do. "I can't sleep. Come snuggle. Come Spoon." And so he did. Sweet dreams. Have you ever felt the way that Spoon did? That you think sometimes your friends have it better than you? I know I used to. And even sometimes as an adult, I get a little bit jealous of what people have. And I think that their lives or their stuff is better than mine. But you know what? When I sit down and think about how lucky I am to have my mom in my life, and my sisters, and my brother, and my nieces and nephews, and my son, and my grandpup, and all my friends, I really am lucky. And you know what? Those people that I get kind of jealous about, they don't have the great stuff that I do. And it's okay to think about what other people have, but it's better to remember all the good things that you have. See, we can learn things even from a book that's a fantasy. They usually tell us a lesson or two. Sometimes they're just fun to read. This was a fun book to read. All right, that's all from my teacher closet today. I hope you have a great day, and you think about all the things that you're lucky to have, and maybe do something nice for someone. All right, every day is a new adventure, so go out and have one. I'll see you again tomorrow from my teacher closet. Bye.